Hello, welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name's Vincent Esposito, and today we are talking about psychosocial health. Now, this is the fifth pillar of our 5 pillars of health, and this is probably the most abstract of the 5. Many of the other ones we've talked about, there are concrete things, and they're not as abstract as this is what we're going to talk about today. So the first part is mental health, and mental health is considered the thinking part of psychosocial health. So a lot of it has to do with your beliefs, your life values, and really importantly, how do you respond to stress and negative situations? It's the analytical side. How do you take it in and how do you respond appropriately or inappropriately? That is really a sign of mental health, is do you respond appropriately to the situation you're in? So the second part is emotional health. It's known as the feeling part of psychosocial health. So the feeling part, it consists of the manner in which you respond to negative stresses or negative situations. So what does that mean? It means, like, say if I were to get fired from a job, do I leave the job upset? Sure, I'd be upset, but do I leave in this huge rage where I blow up at my boss and make things worse and people all around me are watching? Or do I just kind of leave it in a little bit of an optimistic tone? Maybe the next day will be better. Am I blaming other people for my problems? That's another thing that comes in here. So really being able to take responsibility for your actions, that's kind of a big part of these first 2 parts here. Social health refers to your ability to maintain and create relationships appropriately. It also is your ability to express feelings appropriately given the situation. Now, having good social health doesn't necessarily mean you have hundreds and thousands of friends. In fact, in some cases, it could actually mean the opposite. How close are you with your inner circle? How tight are you with your closest friends and family members? That actually goes a long way as well, and really something that shouldn't be ignored. I know especially now this becomes a huge thing in places like Instagram and social media, where we spend a lot of time flipping through things and making very superficial relationships, but not actually having deep in-person ones with the people we're closest to. Those seem to have the greatest effect going forward. And actually, we have a podcast episode we did with Dr. Robert Kochko. I believe it's episode 31. You can check that out. We talk a lot about how psychosocial health affects pain, and it's really something worth looking into. But a lot of it has to do with social health and how do we interact with others? Do we have deep relationships with others versus a bunch of different shallow ones? Fourth part, and this is probably the most abstract of these 4 parts, is actually spiritual health. Now, spiritual health doesn't necessarily mean just religion. It has to do with a couple different things. And let's go over the 5 characteristics that make up spiritual health. They're known as meaning, value, transcendence, which means kind of how do you see yourself doing something maybe beyond this world, connection, and not necessarily with just religion, but with others, so other people, and becoming, or the sense of progression in life, becoming a better person, more productive, getting that promotion, realizing your potential. That's a lot of becoming. Values are a big thing too. So their values are not necessarily restricted to religion itself, right? So you can have a set of values and not necessarily be religious if that's not something you like doing. So something to really take into account. Now, all 4 of these make up psychosocial health. So it's really important to kind of take a step back, look at where you are, and see how your mental, emotional, social, and spiritual health are, because it seems like all of these longest living communities and people who tend to do well late in life have a purpose and a meaning and tend to have very strong social connections with their family and are very at peace with themselves. These kind of characteristics all encompass these four aspects of psychosocial health. The question becomes, how do we improve our psychosocial health? Well, here on this right side, we have a bunch of different strategies you can start with at home to help improve kind of all of these aspects in different ways. So to start, learn and appropriately manage conflicts. So again, can you come to understandings with other people? Can you come up with mutually beneficial arrangements, maybe compromises, without going into big, spectacular arguments and things of that nature? Listen, understand, and acknowledge others' viewpoints. So this is a big one. I think everyone has a sense that they want to be heard. They might have a message they want to send. That's the reason why I started this channel, right? But the bigger part is really listening and understanding where others are coming from so you can meet them where they're at too. So understanding where people are coming from, that will give you an insight as to where you can meet them and where you can maybe come up with a compromise or an agreement going forward. The next one, avoid using you in arguments. Now, the reason for this is if you continually say, you know, you're doing this or you're doing that, it comes off as you might be accusing them of something where it might just be something they're thinking. So if you can talk to them in a way that's not necessarily, in a way that doesn't seem like you're accusing another person, that will help going a long way as well. Monitoring your own tone and volume levels. Obviously, if you're in the heat of an argument, usually your tone's gonna change, your volume usually is going to go up, or you might be completely silent and shut down. But it is important that if you have an opinion, even if you disagree with someone, that you can get to a place where you can at least have a conversation, and that will help improve your psychosocial health overall. The next one is a big one too. I think it comes back to the social media thing we kind of talked about earlier a bit, is opening up to someone. So again, having those deep relationships with even a small amount of people can go a really long way. Having someone that you can confide in, that you can talk with, it doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or something like that. It just has to be someone that you can really open up and share your feelings with. It really goes a long way and it helps you feel better too. I'm sure we've all been in the situation where once we kind of got something out we've been holding in, feel a lot better. That's the idea of this point here. The last point here is keep a gratitude journal. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this is one I haven't started yet, at least of the time I'm recording this, but it is something I plan to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything long or lengthy. Many times you do this exercise, it's simply when you wake up in the morning, you take out a notebook and you just write down maybe 2 or 3 things you're grateful for that day, and right before bed, you read them over and kind of see if you've either stuck to those or you appreciated them throughout the day. And then you just kind of repeat the cycle every day. It really kind of gives you perspective and will help keep you kind of appreciative for what's around you, what you do have in life. And again, this is something that I plan on doing. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I'll have one started. So again, these are ways we can improve our psychosocial health overall. It plays a critical role in our health going forward, in just how we are with ourselves, how we view ourselves, how comfortable we are in certain social situations. And it really just plays a role in keeping us in a positive mood going forward. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this is a bit more abstract, but if you do like it, please comment. I'd love to do more on this topic if you're into it, or anything else we've covered so far. So please leave a comment below. Please like if you found this interesting. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Really appreciate it. Want to keep coming out with this content at least once or twice a week for you, and keep the conversation going. You could reach me via email or through here. That's in the comment. That's in the section below. Also with our website, evokehealth.com, and you can reach me at my personal website. And until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure.